Good morning, Seller Sessions. Isabella Hamilton, coming all the way from San Diego, owner and CEO of Rainbow. And I have with me today Miss Lee Richter. And I am so excited to have you on, Lee. How are you this morning?
Oh, phenomenal. First thing Monday morning. I love being here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
I love starting this on Mondays because it kind of sets a tone for the rest of the week. I always bring in interesting people. And as I was saying, I'm super excited about this because I know you're an expert at a million different things, and we can get into that a little bit if you want. But I think our newest thing that, at least that I see that you're working on, is NFTs. So maybe start by telling us a little bit who you are, because not everybody has the honor and pleasure to know you as I know you from our mastermind. So tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I love people. I realize that that's the reason why I do the things I do is I love people. So I'm a company builder. I have different companies. Most of them are in the pet space because my husband's a world-class, amazing veterinarian. And we've been building his empire and his veterinary hospitals and what he does. We've been doing for over 25 years. So that's amazing. And then myself, I'm an entrepreneur building businesses in the PR and marketing world. And in it, I found things like Clubhouse and communities. During the pandemic, we were connecting like crazy and just having so much fun. And in those communities, I learned about NFTs. Now, NFTs have been around pretty much since 2017, even earlier, but in 2017, it became kind of globally known. As little pockets of people were jumping into cryptocurrencies, they were paying attention, and a little thing called the CryptoPunks were being given away for free, 10,000 of them. And so in the beginning, those 10,000 recipients, man, they're happy as can be right now because they're selling for millions of dollars. And in the beginning, people were like, I don't really get this. And now there's some people that say they don't get it, but the ones that do are just cruising along and having a lot of fun in the communities.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, there's so much to unpack in just that one thing that, that you said. So, first of all, congratulations on all your success. And I love that your husband is also an entrepreneur, and your daughter, Abby, as well, is a bestseller, right?
She is. She is.
From
She
what I
inspires
understand.
me. Even today, I'm watching her and her work ethic, getting ready for school on a Monday morning, and I'm like, wow, this girl's got it going on. She has 4 books that have gone to #1 on Amazon in 8 countries that are her own, and she's part of a compilation book that. During the pandemic, she wrote a chapter on teens and their body image, and I learned a lot. Just even how she did her research and her due diligence, how she connected with her community, and just really paid attention to how they were feeling and sharing actually support and then sharing their stories as well. So
And how old is Abby?
she right now is 17 and she was
Oh my
9 when
goodness.
she published her first book. So she's been on this journey for a little while. And like I said, she inspires me every day.
Well, no wonder with parents like you and your husband, that's it's almost inevitable. But I'm so glad to see that you're all doing so well. And Clubhouse, so Clubhouse, you have a ton of followers there, right? Do you
I
still do
have been
that
having
live?
fun there. It was interesting during the pandemic. I got on just over a year ago. It was during November last year. And it just was a place to connect. And then all of a sudden, some of my friends came on with me and I could hear their voice. And I was like, oh my God, it's almost like we're together. It was like a little pseudo feeling of connection. So then a few of us, Shanda Sumner and her husband, Ash, we started going on a regular basis. We invited some more people and it was just a lot of fun. I ended up in a lot of communities, though, speaking about cryptocurrencies and NFTs. And I started seeing the passion and the connections. And I still, if I ever hop on, which I did twice in the last week, I didn't hardly any in the last 6 months, but twice in the last week. And when I did, it was to listen to the NFT room. So
Wow.
I just love it.
Would you say that that's when you kind of started getting this feel that, okay, this is definitely going somewhere, or you already had that in your head, like NFTs, crypto is the future? Like, when did it really hit for you?
It hit in 2015, actually. I was at an Abundance 360 meeting with Peter Diamandis, and I won my first Bitcoin. Peter gave me my first Bitcoin and the option to get a Bitcoin, and that opened my eyes. And I had to open a wallet and get things, underway and started. And I learned so much then. And then in 2016, he brought Ethereum in, and it was $1.18 a share. And people next to me were buying 10 and 20,000 shares of it and just putting it away for the future. And today, they're very, very happy they did that and they paid attention. I wish I paid attention more in that classroom, that's for sure. I do have Ethereum, but not at $1.18 as cost basis. But what
Do
happened
you
then is I got a client, his name is Gareb Seamus, a good friend of mine who is part of the Comic-Con, Ace Comic-Con, and had 181 Comic-Cons. And he said, you know what? I want to create some new things now that people are at home. How do I have them have connection to their superheroes? And how do I have them connection to the past and the future? NFTs was number 9 idea. Number 9. It wasn't number 1. It was number 9. It is now one of the top ones. It is surging ahead in many ideas, maybe spinning off a new company around it. That's how much it's surging ahead. So
do you feel like you're spending most of your time now just diving deep into NFTs, or how do you even split your time? I mean, you're going to events, you're always I mean, I follow your journey. You're always gone, you're always meeting people, you're at events. How do
I'm
you
home
still
right now. This is my home.
well, luckily for us, luckily for us, I know I texted Lee. I'm like, Lee, are you available next week? Because we tried to connect so many times, and she's like, yes, thank you, thank you. Because
I'm
I
home
feel
for
like
4 days, and then I head to Maui for a few weeks. So I'm super excited to be here now. Maui's my second home, though. So I'm going to be home pretty much the whole month of December, just in 2 different places. And
what an
the thing about
amazing life.
NFTs I also love is you can do it from anywhere. I could be anywhere. I could be Maui. I could be Toronto. I could be anywhere and still, have fun in this community and in this metaverse, as it were.
Oh, so do you feel like this is the future?
This is
NFTs
the
and crypto.
now, and this is the now for sure. Absolutely. And you asked me how I split my time. I don't split my time. It's all integrated. See, every single one of my businesses now have an NFT strategy and an NFT plan and connectors and collaborators, right? One of the things I'm doing today is connecting more with people to see where are my natural collaborations out there to not only teach my team how to do it, but to bring other entrepreneurs with me because I don't want this to just be a teenager's game. I want this to be all of us included. And one of the things I know is people my age will trust me more than maybe a 16 or 17-year-old that could show them even a better way to do things. But right now I'm tapping into that teenage energy and I'm learning from them and I'm going in clubhouse rooms and I'm distilling the things to know. And this morning, before I got on this podcast, one of the things I did was go into my MetaMask wallet and just tour my collection. And you know what? Being a collector and being part of this is super fun too. And some of them I even got for free. They do a thing called airdrops where you can put your wallet number in there and sometimes they'll surprise you with a free NFT. And I had a few surprises in there. I had a queen in there. I had a princess in there and it made me smile. So you know what, there's intrinsic and extrinsic value, and there's also the opportunity for it to go up in value. Like I said early on, the people who got theirs for free in 2017, those things called CryptoPunks, those are now in the multi-millions. Last month, I saw 4 of them in the top 5 sales, and one was $6.6 million. In last quarter alone, out of the top 15 sales, they were 11. 11 were CryptoPunks that are originally given to them for free and sold for millions and multi-millions of dollars. So just play along, get in the game, get your feet wet, get your first NFT and see
Do
what it's like. But
creators still offer free NFTs when they come out with a collection? Like, what's the reason behind giving somebody a free NFT?
well, part of it is they want to be like they want to be the flavor of the day where people are paying attention. So maybe they make 10,000, they'll give the first 1,000 away. So people start talking about them, share them, and create a little buzz around, oh, pay attention to this. Right now, they might only be $100 or $200 if you go buy them with your wallet with ETH or however it's on OpenSea. A lot of times you'll see on OpenSea, there'll be these collections. Well, they might give the first 1,000 away. So people like me who receive one will then post it and share it so other people can learn. And I'll tell you, the princesses and the queens are absolutely beautiful. Like I do want to go in and get more of them and have my own little collection. So part of the reason to do this is for access to the community. This now will be a community of 10,000 collectors that maybe have access to other things in the future. Because now that they're a community, they can, in smart contracts, drop other ideas and other gifts and other things for them. So one of the things I'm seeing, like even with the Comic-Con with my friend Gareb doing, his new company is called Hero Maker Studios. What I'm seeing him do with Hero Maker Studios is building things in for future benefits. So you might have access now or early access now. However, you get it today. In the future, you'll have, bonus access or exclusive access, which he has a lot of really high level celebrities. You want to have exclusive access when you're around him because people just flock to him like crazy. So I think just getting in the game early and having opportunities later, they will develop and there'll be surprises. And some is collecting for the art, some's collecting for the community and really supporting the community. They create things called DAOs, DAO, DAO, and that is like a community base. And through their DAO, they will have people that lead it and people that vote and people that it's basically community led. However, people will be able to have a voice and a vote inside of the community on how it should go. So this is why they call it decentralized. It's not based on a corporation or a government. It's based on community choosing to be together.
I love that. So do you think we are still early?
Oh, very early. Probably, people tell me even when I was in New York City at the NFT conference just a few weeks ago, people were like, only 1% of the population is actually really in here. And when you look at Gary Vee, who sold his Vee and Friends, just a few months ago, he sold them. They look like hand drawings. Again, it had pieces of access in it. For one, the empathy elephant went for $412,000. Which recently, by the way, he had an empathy elephant wine that he poured and had a tasting and had his NFT community come join him with that. So that was one of the access points. But his empathy elephant, a hand drawn, was went for $412,000. And the reason it did is the person who received it, they might have paid the value of ETH and $412,000, but what they received is front row access to his events for the next 3 years. So now they have access to him in a different way. So again, it's access. However, he has sold $90 million, more than $90 million worth of NFTs this year alone because he got in the game early. And the reason you're asking me how many people are in it right now, I am going to say to this, for him to do 90 million in sales and get everything that he's got going right now, he started with 5 million people on his list, but only 50,000 open wallets. So when I first heard that, I'm like, only 50,000 open wallets. If it takes him that much, 5 million people to get 50,000, like, is it really worth it? Well, it was for him because he has a small amount of people, his 50,000 wallets that are following him and really part of it, and they're able to help him be successful. So he said, yes, he got in there. Now his launch was delayed 21 days. Part of it was technology. Part of it was getting things in order. Part of it was, wait a second, only 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 have opted in for the wallet. Is it enough? So once they got to that 50,000 mark and once they launched, now they had this beginning of this experience. And the experience is now turned into more than $90 million in sales. It's turned into an even tighter community. And when I was in New York a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago now, when I was there, what happened was I saw people flock around him. The rooms were standing room only. I was lucky enough, I got to go backstage because I had a media pass and I was able to see him in real form, just be like delighted and blown away by the support. But also in the front of the house, here he is with Pepsi and Budweiser. And they're talking about a year ago, they couldn't understand it when Gary brought it to them. They couldn't understand. They couldn't put their mind around how is this going to change our business. Yet today, a year later, they said they're changing the halftime show and they're changing the way their packaging is and they're changing everything based on NFTs being part of their strategy. So it took them a little time to come along. However, they're on board. And I also saw Saturday Night Live this year. 2 times they had guests on. They had a parody and they had different things around NFTs, including Elon Musk on the show. And I'm like, well, if they have Elon Musk on the show and they're talking about NFTs on NBC, what's their strategy? Because they have one for this to even happen. And this was the second time in the year. They also had a song earlier in the year as well, which, I have it held on my iPhone and I show it to people once in a while and get a chuckle out of it. And this was in March. So they were early on with their first time that they had a little skit around NFTs. So I'm paying attention. It's still early. Isabella, you're a trendsetter, just even paying attention and bringing it to your audience. And I'm grateful for you that we had this chance to, share the enthusiasm.
You're so sweet. Well, I heard about, oh God, Bitcoin probably around 10 years ago. And it was, as you can imagine, so cheap. And my friend was just like, just put some money in there. I know you make money. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't understand it. And I feel like I'm at that point again where I don't really understand NFTs. I'm trying to learn. And I know I have this like feeling that it's going places for sure. And, cryptocurrencies and NFTs. And I just don't want to miss the boat again. And I know there's a lot of people, not
Yeah.
only in the Amazon industry that I'm in, but all over the world that have the same feeling. Like, I want to get into NFTs. I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, what is even an NFT? Like, if we can start with that, I know we should have started that.
I wanted to show you this. I'll read it to you.
Please.
October 2010, Bitcoin was 10 cents.
Yeah.
2011, $2. 2012, $10. October 2013, $150. So yeah, when you think about that, and then all of a sudden October 2019, it's 8,500. Now it starts, when people were hearing about it in 17, 18, 19, it was still over $5,000. And at that point, they're like, hey, how can I really believe this? Now,
Exactly.
would all of us go back in time and say, I'd like to understand it later. I'm just going to believe it and do it now. Because every time we wait, for some reason, we're seeing opportunities go by. So, do I think it's going to be a roller coaster ride and go up and down? Yeah, it just did that in the last few days, right? But however, I looked at it like, if I bought it high, I'll harvest some loss and buy it back in and lower my cost basis, or I'll add more to it and lower my cost basis that way. And so you look at different strategies that work for you, and you have to be resilient for the future. If you lost it all tomorrow, it can't change your life. So only make it like 10% of your investment portfolio if you have to be comfortable. However, I say include it and learn it. I think it's here to stay, and you want to be earlier to the game, not late. And we're not late yet, but we aren't as early as we all wish we were. Let's put it that way.
Right. Exactly. So I think my problem was not understanding crypto at that time. And again, I feel like I'm not really understanding NFTs. I mean, I can see there's a lot of people with influence that are openly discussing this, but yet when you really search for explanation, it's very hard to get an answer that's relatable to most people, because I feel like most people need a little bit of, I don't know, maybe some unpacking of some sort that makes sense to them. So if somebody
Okay, I'll
comes
give
to
you
you
three
and
reasons.
they have no idea about NFT, what do you tell them?
I would say there's three reasons for NFTs right now, other than the novelty factor. I mentioned earlier that some of this is novelty because it's early. People want to jump in. And the crypto punks, those are novelty that they were the first ones. So now they've blown up in value. But it's up to the community who pays for it is what determines the value. But there's three reasons why I buy NFTs. And actually, this is all on my Instagram. It's Go Ask Lee. If you want to go to my Instagram, you'll see all these little pockets of education around NFTs and cryptocurrencies and why decentralized versus centralized and different things. I have carousels in there with, 8, 9, 10 pages of little bits of information you can absorb when you're ready. But if you go back a couple months, you'll see the beginning is why NFTs. And there's three reasons. The first one is access. Like I mentioned earlier, think of it like a ticket. So in Comic-Con, he's had 181 events in person. Over 5 million people came. Each one had a ticket. They might have had it on their phone. They might have had a physical ticket, but they had a ticket to get in. That's what the NFT is now. He could sell one and just say you have access to come in. He could sell one that says you have access to come in. Plus, you have VIP access for a book signing from one of the authors, or you have VIP access from one of the stars of the movies. You can bring a piece of paraphernalia and they can sign it. You could bring a magazine or a comic book and have somebody sign that. Maybe that's a VIP access. Maybe there's an exclusive access to have dinner with Gareb Shamus, who's the founder. I don't know, but each one of those will give people the opportunity to buy that NFT so that with the ownership of that NFT and the proof of ownership, which is what happens when you buy the NFT, it's on the blockchain. So now there's proof of ownership that you own it. Now you can have access to whatever the smart contract or whatever the terms are of that NFT. So that's number one, is access like a ticket. Number two is licensing. So for someone like you that comes up with a brand new product and you're brilliant and you want to have it and you can license it to others, with the form of the NFT, they can have the ownership of the licensing and get access. Again, just like a ticket, it opens a door and gives you access. And then the third one is for authenticity. So for buying something, buying a car, buying a house, whatever, you can do the transaction on it, but also you can prove your ownership and then it's authentic to you. Some people are actually, including Gary Vee, are starting to use NFTs to authenticate their speeches so that it's 100% them saying whatever their idea is or the presentation is, rather than some fakery and somebody else making it up, which we're seeing more and more of. on the internet. So those are three big reasons, other than the novelty and just being in there for fun. I got the princess and I got the queen today. And for me, it was a lot of novelty, but in the future, there could be a real value that's attached to that. And as those exchange and those get more valuable, I'm participating in that community.
How do people have access to this? Like, what are the first steps somebody can take in signing up, like on the blockchain? Like, I'm not on it, even though I own some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and some of the smaller ones because I just wanted to get into it and learn how to trade. But I'm like this much in, like I don't even feel like I can openly talk about it because I don't know anything. But I do love stocks, so I've always invested in stocks, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like stocks. That's the closest that
Yeah.
it comes to me, but
Yeah.
I know nothing of it.
So for the cryptocurrencies, the easiest way in the beginning when you're just starting is go in, you open a Coinbase, you look just like you get in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two major ones to jump in. I have both Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. I added some last week when it went on Black Friday sale. I was like, what? Might as well get it while it's on sale. And I use my favorite number 11. So I'll get like $1,100 worth or $11,000 worth and just keep adding to my collection of cryptocurrency. Then when I go to buy NFTs, I go to the first place. I like Rarible. I like OpenSea. Those are two of the platforms. Wax is a platform. Solana is a platform where you can use their technology, their coins actually to participate in the community. One of the things I do is I'll go to OpenSea and I'll look at different collections. I'll go to different Facebook groups. I'll learn things in the clubhouse rooms about people dropping their collection. A lot of times when they're dropping their collection, they're connected to Instagram and they'll have links and pictures of their collection there. Again, sometimes through Clubhouse, they'll put in messengers, how to get on their Twitter, and they'll have information there. A lot of them are in Discord as well. So they might drop a link for joining their Discord room and you can pay attention there. So when you go on OpenSea, you'll see different artists, different collections. First thing I recommend is find one you like and purchase it. You'll have to have a MetaMask wallet to keep it in there. There'll be different steps. On my Go Ask Lee on Instagram, there is how to buy an NFT. There is how to open a MetaMask wallet. Those little ideas and education pieces are already existing. A lot of that is so my team and I, if we need to refer back to it, we have it. We have it there. I also have the Global Leaders Collective, which is also on Instagram, which has a lot more education. If you want to just go there and just start at the beginning and read the carousels, and I'll tell you, you'll start getting the education of why to pay attention. And if it excites you and turns you on, I've told families they should do competitions together. On Thanksgiving, I had several families where they gave each person $5,000, each of the teenagers, the parents, the grandparents, and now they're off to the races for the next year. They're going to see what can they turn their $5,000 into. And so the parents are doing it with the kids. They're having conversations. They're talking about what they are doing, what they think they should do. And I said to the parents and the grandparents, the kids will be teaching them a lot. Within 2 or 3 months, the kids will be coming to them and saying, here's what I learned and here's what you need to know. And if you have people that are 16, 17, 18 in your household, put them to work, get them on the internet with you, teaching you, because my daughter's 17. I'm like, hey, start collecting some of these NFTs with me. And I know in just a month or two, she'll be teaching me things or showing me things I wouldn't have found without her. So it's a way for all of us to go together.
And how were you able to collect all this information? Just like by asking different people? Are there like some other resources out there? And I know you collected all of them and you made it very simple for people and you put it on your Instagram, which I'm very thankful for because definitely I'm doing this after this call. But for people that want to go even deeper, like how does somebody even get a start on this? Because I know there are still people who are very hesitant because they want to see something more concrete than somebody like Gary Vee talking about it. How do people find like the reasoning behind it and just anything more educational?
That's a good question. Actually, I have a couple resources here in my NFT file. Ha ha ha. So basically, one of the things I do is I read this book by Palmer. Let's see, where is it? I do have a lot of notes in my NFT file now and my certifications. Here we go. It's called Blockchain by Shelley Palmer. And that's a lot around the terms and interesting things to know about it. And on top of it, I go to nfttips.com, which we have an NFT tips also for my Go Ask Lee. I also love this series of books called The Internet of Money. the internet of money. One of my team members just came in, and actually he and I have been taking classes. We just finished a class at Stanford. We're in a class at MIT right now. And I'll tell you, the MIT one is taking way more time than I want it to. So I'm not even sure I can keep up with that one, because you're asking me, how do I manage all the time?
Mhm.
Well, we're adding education in there. And because we're doing actual courses, they have, somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week just dedicated towards learning more about things like the blockchain and NFTs and the community and smart contracts. So over the last few months, we've gotten designations and certifications in blockchain, in NFTs, in smart contracts. Why? So we can learn this. So it's not just our education, it's going out to academia and seeing what's that education. And the real truth of it is we really learn it on the job training. Like I mentioned to you earlier, go to OpenSea, pick out something, open a wallet, buy crypto, be part of it, learn the process. Once you put it together and you're part of the system, see what you like next and see if it turns you on. If you have that team member that you can do it with, or that partner to do it with, it makes it even more fun. Because now you can, see what you find out together, share wins, share losses, grow together, right? So we are launching a course in the spring. I'm doing 3 challenges on Facebook with one of my friends who's an attorney and wants to bring this to other legal experts and other entrepreneurs. So it is going to keep growing. Stay tuned to my Go Ask Lee, and we'll definitely keep you apprised of what's coming up and the dates. I know the last week of January is the first challenge on Facebook. We're going to do a 5-day challenge. We're going to include mindset, how to shift your mindset from how does this work to I just want to learn how it works. Because one of the things I've learned with people, especially, 40 and above, they want to figure out like, hey, it's not like an ATM. It's not like a bank. They want to, no, it's not. And instead of unthinking it, just learn the new things. So some of it's mindset, why NFTs, how to create an NFT. And then we're also going to have bonus time around hot seats and helping people with their verticals and their industries. So I'll definitely invite you in on this too. We want to talk
I would
about
love that.
Amazon products and what can you do. NFT might get you. It could also be like an option. Hey, with this NFT, you get 2 cases of XYZ. Like my friend is selling a non-alcoholic gin right now, right? He could barely keep it in stock because people want to drink but not drink alcohol, but it still gives the feeling of it. And he's selling it like crazy. It's called Monday. I believe it's called Monday. And so every time he sells it and he sells out of stock, whoever has the NFTs are first in line when stock comes back in, right? That's a great way of giving your community a special access. And by being a purchaser of the NFT, you get in the front of the line. So that could be a good reason, especially if it's a hot product. And over these holidays, whatever we see as the hot product, now you can create an NFT and give people access if you have 2 cases of it, right? So that's just
I love that. I feel like with NFTs, that's why I'm so excited about it, because there's a whole new world out there that we were never aware of. And now, how do we incorporate this into all our businesses? Like you said, whether it's consulting or a book writer or even Amazon. And I'm, excited to maybe have more conversations with you on this topic specifically. But let's get back into the NFTs just so we give people a little bit more information. How do you even know an NFT is authentic? I know you said go to OpenSea and buy something there. How do people know that what they're buying they actually own, that they have the license for it? Like what's your to-go checklist?
It's almost like just going on an eBay auction. It's really very similar where you just go on, you make a bid. On some of them, there are a bid and a bid history, and some of them you just buy it outright. So I think once you go on, you'll have it, and then you put your wallet address and it gets delivered to your wallet. So on the blockchain, that's the beauty of it, is it gets imprinted, and then it is authentic and a one of a kind. That is the whole thing about an NFT. If we go back to the origination, and you did ask this early on, what is an NFT? Let's start with what an NFT is not, right? So an NFT is a non-fungible token. So what is a fungible token? Well, the number one US $100 bill is the US $100 bill is the number one fungible token on the planet. What is that? There's multiples of it, and it's seen as the same value no matter where you go. Right? Any country you go to, a US $100 bill has the value of a US $100 bill. And there's many, many, many. So a non-fungible token is a one of one, and the value on it is given to the person who purchases it, right? Whatever they exchange for it, whether it's ETH, whether it's Wax, whether it's Solana, whatever it is that they exchange for it, that is giving the value. And it's one of one. And on the blockchain, it will be imprinted as that one of one and guaranteed to be that only one. So that is why people like it on the blockchain.
I see sometimes designers like creating a series of 10,000 NFTs. Are these just any creator can do this? Any designer can create this, but it's not just because you created these NFTs doesn't mean that they're going to become popular or successful. It's who the person behind it is that
Yeah.
gives it value, and the people in the community that raise that value. Is that somewhat accurate? I'm just trying to understand it myself.
Yeah, because
I'm asking you a
anybody can
question.
create the 10,000, like we were talking about earlier. The strategy for a lot of them right now is give 1,000 away to create a buzz, to create a community, to get it started, so that then they can sell the rest and bring them in, and then they create their own little, way to be connected. Sometimes it's just you own the piece of art. Sometimes it's access. Sometimes it's to enter a metaverse, right? Sometimes it's to enter a community. So a lot of people are launching it in 10,000 pieces because that's what they can manage, or that's what they see as, the amount that is the ideal number for them. People can pick any number they want. I think Gary V's VeeFriends was 10,244. It was just over 10,200. So he had his own reasoning for picking how many he did. When I look at some of the ones like Stoner Cats has a series of 5. Each one has a little different outfit, or has glasses, or has a hat, or whatever, to have different versions of the 5. However, the people who have the one of the 5, which I have 2 of those, number one, it's a character that's in the TV show, right? So I have 2 different characters in the show. And once you have one, you can actually access and watch the show. So in their case, you had to have a Stoner Cat so you can even see the TV show. So 10,000 people have access to seeing the show right now. When I'm done watching the show, I could sell one of mine and somebody else can get access, or I can keep it. The beauty of it is in their smart contract, they can build on that. Anytime it's sold again, they get a percentage. And because it is in perpetuity, every single time that there's a transaction on the blockchain, they're watching the transaction and they're making sure that that part of the smart contract is being delivered. So if they get 10% for every time it's resold, then every time that Stoner Cat is resold, a 10% portion of it will go automatically to them.
And
So that
any creator can do that, or is that just something that they is that the norm? I guess the
That is,
question.
that's what's beautiful about this. This is why the artists in both music and in any kind of art, in sculpture, it could be physical art as well, because you can sell an NFT that says you not only own this NFT digital, but you can also own the physical piece that goes with it. That might be the access piece of it. So it's built into the smart contract that, yes, here, like my friend makes these cards, right? She makes these really beautiful cards. She can say, I'm grateful, I'm grateful for small acts of kindness. Now pay it forward. Now this is a card. She could sell this as an NFT, but the NFT, she could say, well, when you own it, I'll send you the physical card and you have that as well. And you can actually pay it forward. So it could be the digital that turns into physical, or the digital that gives you access to the physical. You get to build that into the contract. Now, the reason why the artists love it is because normally when an artist sells a piece of art, it's only paid, the artist is paid the first time it's sold. Right. And maybe they have a gallery represent them and they do a rev share, but they get paid that one time. And then the art goes away, goes in someone's collection, and they don't see it again. Whereas with this, whether it's attached to a physical piece or not, anytime it's sold, because of the smart contract, they could build in that they get a 10% or 20%, even a 30% stake in that, whatever they want to. They can build that in, that every time it's sold, that a portion of it comes back to them. And 300 years from now, that can go to their heirs. It can be in continuity forever. So what's beautiful about that is the artist is now part of every transaction and gets to celebrate the value of their art going up. This is why different industries will see how it disrupts and changes it. It can enhance it, right? This is one that's really obvious for the artist. It's also obvious for, somebody who sells a book. They could do the same thing. They could attach an NFT to the book. It could be very rare. It could come with a course. It can come with access to an online course with it. And then when it's sold again to somebody else, rather than giving it away, sell it. And then that originator can get paid again.
Oh, this just changes everything. Like it gets me so excited. I just want to like go and bury myself and just do a bunch of
You
research
want to
and
create, right? There's two sides to
okay.
it. You're the creator or the collector. However, you can play both sides of it. When you go in as a collector, you go in with the collector's eyes and you're looking for value. You're looking for things that you like. When I looked at my collection this morning, it made me smile to see things that, are in there that now remind me of certain times of my life, right? Not to mention my team member and I, we were in Hawaii and we were making our first NFTs, and I was just looking around and seeing what did I want to make NFTs out of. And
Yeah.
then now I have a special VIP lunch coming up, and it's a dinner. It's 4 p.m. on a Sunday. And I have 12 of us going. So myself and my daughter, and then I created 10 NFTs, and the other ones that are coming, they bought their NFT. So now they have a wallet open. Now they have their own NFT. They learned the process. And while we're at dinner, what's beautiful is these are really smart people that have even been talking about it, yet these are their first NFTs. And while we're at the table, one of the things that I'm going to talk about was, what was your experience getting it, owning it? Do you have any more? Like, we'll be able to have conversations. I'll actually bring my computer so I can show my collection at that time, because between now and December, I think it's December 19th. Between now and December 19th, I'll probably add a few more. And it'll be fun to show them just, why I'm into it and see what happens with them in the next year too.
That is such a great idea to just do that with friends and like Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving or whatever holiday or at Christmas. Like you said, maybe create it as a challenge and let's openly talk about it because I think there needs to be a lot more conversation around it. And the people who are not getting into it, they're going to be feeling like they missed out in
Mhm.
a year
Well,
or
there's no
two
reason
or
to
five.
miss out. That's what you were saying before. You're like, I
Mhm.
don't want to miss the boat. What I'm like is the boat is at the dock. Get on the boat. And what I
Exactly.
learned is I love being the captain of the boat. So like inviting you on my ship and you coming, I love it. And in no time, you're going to have your own and be your own captain too. I already see it happening. There is
Yeah.
no doubt. But for right now, come on mine. We will figure this stuff out together. No one has to be left behind. This is the time for all of us to go together. And we get to be as creative as we want. I was talking to a group of people in New York. We had Quentin Tarantino there. There were about 100 of us invited to this special, like basically, almost top of the building, enjoy a connection time. But there were about 100 people, and Tom Billio was there. He was on a little panel with Quentin Tarantino, and he was talking about, what kind of things could he do with his art. And he said he owns the rights to all of his movies in 3 years. And so we're like, wow, in 3 years, you can do so much. However, for right now, he owns the script. He came out with an idea of 7 1-minute original snippets of the movie, but he learned Miramax says we still own it and we have to talk about that. So he
Okay.
learned along the way, you have to own the IP 100%. This is why I love working with Gareb, is because everything that he does, all of his wizard comic books, he owns the IP 100%. And that's one of the things that I think is really important. Same with my husband, with the animal things that we do. If we're doing animal pictures or anything like that, we own the IP 100% before we bring it out. That is a very hard lesson learned. I learned that during the Kobe Bryant Foundation project that we had, is you have to have not only the Kobe Bryant Foundation and Make-A-Wish, but you also need the NBA and the stadium and Staples. And I'm like, okay, forget it. It's too many IP hands in the cookie jar.
Mhm.
So if you have it 100%, that is your ideal thing to create.
How does somebody make their own? Because you started saying that you are now starting to have your own NFTs. How easy or how hard is it, and how can we start creating our own if we wanted to?
So that's going to be part of our course in the spring. We're going to take people through that. And I will tell you, it's going to be a step-by-step process. However, you could really get started just going on OpenSea and seeing how other creators are in there and what they did, and just follow the rules, follow the system. We posted ours on Rarible and OpenSea so far. But as you go in as a consumer, you'll see how to go in as a creator as
Do we
well.
need to be a developer or know how to write code? Like, what is? Give us just a
I mean,
little
there
bit.
are
Give
pieces
us a
to it that
tidbit.
you will need those backgrounds, but for just creating one, no. It's really just open your. I actually went and created some out of photos, and I'll tell you, in some of the NFT rooms on Clubhouse, that's one of the things they're talking about. Hey, is that fair to just take a photo and turn it into an NFT? And artists are saying, it's your art, whatever you want to do. And I've seen some photographers that are incredible that by putting it in an NFT, I found their art, and I'm so grateful. I like go and look at their landscapes, and wherever they are, it's spectacular. One of them was just in Iceland, and I was watching all of their night skylights and the green in the sky. It was just incredible, like to see their perspective. But I found them in an NFT room. They were launching NFTs, and now I'm a fan of their art completely. And when they turn it into NFTs, I will go in and look at it and see if I can buy it. But you could watch the journey of other artists and just follow along. It is the same thing as I mentioned before. It's almost like going on eBay and creating a transaction and selling something that you want to sell. And again, you can add in a smart contract that includes access to something. Like I could sell a bottle of wine right now, and I can say that includes lunch with me at Chez Panisse right now, or lunch for two at Chez Panisse. I can just sponsor them, or anything that you want, you can attach to it and sell the physical product with the digital product if you like to. There are people that are selling like customized sneakers that way, where you buy the NFT, and then when you own the NFT, you can turn it in for a customized pair of sneakers that they create. So I also have seen people do that with their it's called Bored Apes. That's one of the things like CryptoPunks that has taken off is the Bored Apes. And I've seen people take them and reproduce them on physical products that are their own. They have the right to do that with theirs.
Do you wanna talk about a metaverse a little bit?
Wow, it's funny because there's so many.
We need like 8 more hours, right, to talk about the
Right.
metaverse. But let's talk a little bit because I'm very
Well, it's
curious.
interesting because
What are your thoughts on it?
I'm watching some, from the beginning, we were in decentralized land where they're selling off pieces of land. The land is getting to be like the same value as real physical land, and people are able to rent it out and do different things and billboards, and it's getting very, very interesting. So I don't know if I'm the best person because I'm such in learning mode around this, but I will say even with the NBA or any of the sports, for them to create a metaverse where you can come in and it's going to turn into a VR component where it feels like you're at the game. Like I think it's growing into something. It's not there yet, but
Would you buy virtual land?
Well, I'm in the same place that I said to you earlier. I wish I can go back to when I first learned about it. When I first learned about it, it was $100. Like, yeah, of course. Now there's pieces $150,000. Now there's like these huge transactions. Now people have figured it out, so the demand is up. So right now at this moment, I know later on I'm going to say, why didn't I take action right then? I'm not taking action on it yet, but I'm going to look into it a little bit more.
I'm definitely very, very curious. And as much as I love disconnecting, and I think this is what me and you have in common, and this is why we connected so much. We both love people so much. Like I see you are probably one of the biggest and the best networkers that I have met. And I meet a lot of people. And to see you, I'm like, oh my God, you're like me, but so much more involved. And you know so many people. So I know you're never going to leave actual Earth to be in the metaverse all the time. However, I know it stirs a curiosity in you because it does in me. As much as I love people and I want to be present, I know there's that side of me that I'm like, that is so freaking cool that I know it's going to pull me in. And again, same just like with NFTs. You're like, let me drink from my meta cup.
What would you do with an extra 30 years of healthy life? That's what this says. What would you do with an extra 30 years of healthy life, abundance 360, longevity? So it's all starts with mindset. See? Mm-hmm. So I think, everything is what do we pay attention to what's important to us, right? So yeah, the amount of time I'm going to spend there is, how important is it to me right now? If my daughter was right here right now.
That's an amazing answer, actually. That is because that explains everything, because it ties everything in. We want to get distracted by everything. Now there's Bitcoin. Now there's this. I want to get into Amazon. I want to get into singing. It's like, sit down and see what matters to you most, because there are a lot of things out there that all of us could do, but what is really important to us? And it sounds to me like NFTs are very important to you right now, whereas metaverse may not be as interesting to you right now, and you rather
leads into the metaverse
with your daughter and your friends. And I love that. I think that's a great answer.
I'm like, I have 2 Oculus now, headsets downstairs, and my husband and my daughter have been into them. My friends have been into them. I haven't even put it on yet, and I've had it, a year right now, right? I've
I
had them a year.
bought it about a year and a half, and I opened it once, and it's sitting right here. Like I
Yeah,
opened it
so
once,
but
and I
I'm
know what
curious,
it's like. Yeah.
between Christmas and New Year's, I'm gonna see about getting in there. It'll open up a new world for me too. I am just at the beginning of it. I do see that a VR component needs to be put into every single strategy, and it might not be for today, it might be for the future. Peter Diamandis did mention that on a call a couple weeks ago. We had about a 2-hour call, and he's like, no matter what strategy you're working on, no matter what you're working on, make sure there's a VR component built in for the future. So I see that with the metaverse, that the ones that are getting there, that are savvy and making it fun, and their audience loves the meaning of being part of that, the ones that are there first, that create something meaningful, it's going to be incredible for their community, really. And that's what you get to do now. Like, there's many movie stars and A-listers that have, tens of millions of followers, but now they can take it to that 10,000 like raving fans that they love being with. They can choose their metaverse. They can have an application process to get in. They could go through these 3 hurdles to get in, or pay this price, and these people get different access than these. Tom Billio just did that. He released his utility map, and he had legacy NFTs. I received 2 of them, and in the legacy NFTs, you have different access. There's like 7 different access points to unlock. So he has created his metaverse, and we don't know what it's all going to look like, but we do get pieces of it now, and we'll get more pieces later. And that's what he's doing. He's building his community and his raving fans. Right now, he's releasing some Christmas ones for fun. And I think we got some last week. I'm going to go. Yeah, we did. We got some last week, because whatever he's creating now, I want to be part of, because I saw how clever he is. When we were with Quentin Tarantino, he answered every question the best. Like, every single time there was a question, he would wait, other people would go, and then he'd come in with his ideas. And I'm like, wow, he's really studied this. He's way ahead of me. I'm paying attention. He did give me a copy of his utility map when I got the legacy NFTs. I did ask him if I could share it with my Jeff Walker Plat Plus mastermind, and I did that. And I felt that I was really grateful that, he wants other people to learn how to create a metaverse for their raving fans as well.
So with Tom Billy, for example, he offers these to his own community, or is this for anybody that's following him? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they just went up for sale. He announced they're up for sale. The Christmas
On
ones.
OpenSea or where?
I believe it was OpenSea. My team member was here who actually executed it for me. I'll have to ask him when he comes back. I believe it was OpenSea. But if you just Google Tom Billio NFT, I'm sure there'll be links, because they've been getting the word out. And yeah, he's loving this space. And part of it is, smart people pay attention to smart people. So I'm paying attention to him, because I see how he shows up. I see how giving he is. I see how smart he is, and how he's so enthusiastic about this, and he's all in, and he's a billionaire. Does he need to do this? No, he could be on a beach anywhere, right, but he's choosing this. And when he chooses it and has this much fun and is lit up about it, it's a clue. I'm paying attention to the clues.
Oh, I love him. I've been listening to him for a few years now, and he's just so brilliant. And oh God, I mean, there's just so many people that I know there haven't even started on this, but I'm glad Tom did. And I mean, we know he's just such a genius, and I'm definitely interested in probably purchasing some of his. Maybe those will be my first ones.
Yeah. I hope the Christmas ones are still there, because they're super cute. He just launched it last week. I got in the first day. So
Wow.
I was out of town for 2 different trips. We went to the Dallas Cowboys. Then I went to Las Vegas for a friend's giving. So now I'm back in work today. I'll get the scoop, and I'll look at my collection. And I basically, every Tuesday is financial day for me. And every Tuesday, what we do is we look at all my stocks, all my checking accounts, all my credit cards, everything. I look at all the balances across the board, the value of my real estate, value of timeshares, value of now cryptocurrency and NFTs. So every Tuesday is my financial day, where I look at the entire landscape and then make adjustments. And I'll tell you, my NFT and my cryptocurrencies are growing. I want them to continue to grow. And right now I see some things on sale. Ian just came in. Ian, where did we buy the Tom Billio holiday NFTs? Is it on OpenSea?
Yeah.
It is on OpenSea. And are they still available? He's going to look and see if they're still available. But I also want to see which ones I got, because I think sometimes when you buy them, you don't know which one you get until they
Mm.
hatch or they release them later.
Oh my God, that is so wonderful. So you every Tuesday, that's all you do. You just do finances.
Tuesday, I have one of my assistants that's been with me for over a decade. She comes in, and that's our focus. Is it the only thing I do? No, it's my major focus, probably about 80% of what I do that day.
Would you say that this strategy has helped you keep everything in place? Like one day you focus on this, one day on this. Because I
There's a
asked you
lot.
right at the beginning, how do you split your time? And I guess this is a perfect answer for that.
Well, each company has a specific amount of time. It depends on who's the leader of that company. Jessica manages the vet hospital, so I'll have time with her throughout the week. We text and talk every day. Basically, we're always in contact. She just uses Slack with the whole community, with her team, and my husband and I are on there. And then, yeah, daily huddles, just a connection either through text or FaceTime, or even sometimes a Zoom meeting. And then I have team leaders, like in the marketing team, I have someone that leads the team, and we have people all around the world. They'll hop on Zoom 90 minutes to 3 hours. They'll have like work meetings in the middle of the day. I could pop in and say hi if I want.
I
Or
love
if I
that.
can. Sometimes I'm in meetings, like you said, I'm out networking. So I am the visionary of the company. So I'm out and I'm creating, what's next, and connections. Connections matter the most to me, like just getting out and connecting, and being out and free and being with everyone is like my favorite thing to do. However, I'm going to be in Maui in December, and I have over 20 guests coming over a few weeks. I have different people. And so each person can come for like 4 or 5 days. And sometimes I have groups together. I have the CEO of Comic-Con coming with another friend of mine who they're doing work together. So all three of us will do some things together. But 1 year ago, we were doing his business plan with 11 pages of ideas. And this year, like all of them are coming true. And so we get to celebrate that. And yeah, connection matters so much to me. I'm out. I tell my husband this. I say, well, you can't build an empire from your couch. You have to be out, right? So he's been out this year. He has networked more than ever this year, and he's having so much fun connecting with mostly global leaders in medicine, since he's in medicine, and that's been great longevity for pets, but it's also been great longevity for him and I, because we got stem cells this year. We, took care of our health at a different level based on global leaders that we know and what they do. So I'm out connecting the rest of the team. Each one has their genius that they're in charge of. And yeah, we come together and make it happen.
How many masterminds are you in, Lee?
Right now, I'm basically in 4 masterminds. Like the Jeff Walker, I've been in since 2013, and that's product launch formula. There's a couple people in there that are experts at Amazon, like you, and I just love watching you guys build these empires and help other entrepreneurs too, and help people launch their ideas and their products. It's just genius. And then I'm in the Genius Network, with Joe Polish. That is my favorite networker of all time, is Joe Polish, and just watching how he connects and how meaningful his life is and how he really puts people together. Some of my best deals and best things I've ever done are because of Joe Polish. And then
Wow.
also Dan Sullivan with, the reason why I learned systems and know systems is because of Dan Sullivan and Strategic Coach. So I will be a member of that for the rest of my life, no matter what, because it's just such a great way for me to build my acumen and my team, and just get things in place, is structure that I learned from Dan. So those are my main ones. I'm in the 100 Million Mastermind with you, which is the most fun. We get to meet people like Mike Tyson and Oscar De La Hoya, and we get to do so many fun things from Miami to Dallas and LA and San Diego. I mean, we're so lucky and Miami was so much fun. That was one of
I
my
love
deep dives into crypto and NFTs actually happened into that room, because he brought some experts in from Clubhouse,
Mhm.
right?
And we
It
were
was
in
the
that room together with Dan when he was telling us about crypto, and we were just like asking. But at that point, you already had a lot more knowledge. But
I
that's
had him.
when
I had like $11,000 that day as he was talking. I'm like, let me just add
that's
another.
what I did. That's exactly when I got into it. About when was that? About 6 months ago?
No, yeah, I guess maybe it was 6 months ago.
Yeah,
Was
or
it?
a
Yeah,
little
it
bit
was this
over.
year. I
But
think it
that's
was a year
exactly
ago.
when I got into it. And I probably wouldn't have had if somebody like Dan didn't say anything. Like, he's like, you have to get into it. I'm like, I don't know anything. He's like, just get into it. And I'm so glad I did, because it's this learning curve, this learning process that you do with every single action you take. So even if you don't know anything, just by doing it, you get to learn so much. And then, we
Well,
have
you
people
proved
like
the factor.
Crystal.
It was someone you trusted who said, just do it. And guess what? You just did it. And now looking
Yeah.
back, you're like, oh, I'm happy I got in. At least I already understand some of it. And it's just the beginning. And you get to learn at your own pace. You get to get excited, enthusiastic. And anytime I'm doing it, I think of it as a donation, right? It's a donation. If I never see it again, I'll be okay. However, it gets the opportunity to go out in the world, do its thing, and multiply, right? And I can also instruct it to do that. Hey, go out in the world and multiply. Do good in the world, and let's see what happens. So
You are so sweet, Lee. Tell us again where people can find you. I know you said Instagram. Go ask Lee. Are there any other platforms that somebody that might want to reach out to you? I know you do some type of consulting too. I don't know how deep you're into that, but whatever you want to tell us for those who want to reach out.
well, my website's goasklee.com, and I have holisticvetcare.com. This is my dog Marty. Isn't he so cute?
Hi, baby.
So yeah, Marty inspires me every day. He just is such a love bug. He's been sitting here waiting the whole time to hop on my lap. So yeah, we have Holistic Vet Care, which is in Oakland, California, holisticvetcare.com. My husband's the veterinarian. My stuff is goasklee.com. You'll see me everywhere. It just says Go Ask Lee. Even Clubhouse, I have a Go Ask Lee profile. And yeah, I try to keep it simple.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for giving us all your time today. I know you're so busy and you could be minting NFTs right now, but you decided to share this time with
I mean, I
us. So
am. Who said I wasn't? I
I
am.
appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again for coming in. Hopefully I can have you back in 1 year and then you can like show us all your collection.
Yeah, and I'll see your collection too. That'll be even more fun. Thank
I
you.
now I have to stay with it. Now I have to do it. Thank you, Lee.